Welcome to this episode of the Comedy Defect Podcast. This is episode 31 with Gary Sansome. Gary's a really good friend of mine. He's a very funny comic. He's been touring around. He's done America, he's done Australia, Tasmania, he's done Hawaii. I managed to get him in a room for an hour and a bit, talking to him about what he's doing in comedy, how he's getting on. We recorded this at another good friend of mine who's also been on this podcast, Daphne Barham's house. And the noises that you can hear in the background are of Daphne cooking us a lovely meal that we had after the pod. Later on the week, we went to see Jim Gaffigan. Now, I haven't been out of the house socially for a very long time, so I find going out socially a lot more nerve-wracking than the average person now. I think that choosing comedy as a career I haven't chosen the path of least resistance. I've chosen the path of most neurosis. Because that's what happens, I think. You become agoraphobic. I think I need to do this socialising at least 2 or 3 times a week. So then eventually I'll be able to maybe go out for a whole night, or maybe go out for a weekend or something. That'd be nice. Maybe do the weekends. Yeah, weekend away maybe with friends. I don't know. But it was fun. I really enjoyed myself. We saw Ted Alexandro opened. It was at the Leicester Square Theatre. And of course Jim Gaffigan closed the show. It was great. I really enjoyed myself. It's actually nice to be out. We went to see Legoland as well. That was kind of cool. Didn't spend a lot of time there, but that was a lot of patience, I think, that people have making those Legoland exhibitions. People think their jobs are tedious. I think that job would be incredibly tedious. I guess you need a passion for it as well, I guess. But, hey, there's those tiny little blocks. It's going to take you an awful long time to feel like you're getting anywhere. Well, I guess it's with anything, really. We only see the final product, and all we can do is just imagine what it was like building that. I don't know. Wouldn't be my cup of tea anyway. But you had the Big Ben, you had a Chinese dragon in there as well, and it was just a pretty amazing. You even had a Starbucks. You had a Starbucks Lego set that you could buy there. You thought they would have just said no to that, really. Might as well have a Shell Oil there too. That was a bit cynical, really, to have a Starbucks. And do you know what, surprisingly, there wasn't a Costa or a Cafe Nero next to it. I was a bit disappointed. How did Starbucks manage to swing this Starbucks coffee shop Lego set? No one else could do it. Sneaky. I found it very, very sneaky. If you don't know who I am, my name is Winter Phonander. I'm the host of this show. This is episode 31 with Gary Sansome. Now, if you want to follow us on Twitter, we're there at The Comedy Defect. If you want to follow me, it's at Winter Phonander. Also, I'm trying to mill out as many jokes as I can out of the Guinness Encyclopedia. You can find those jokes on Twitter, and it is at Guinness Jokes, and the title for that page is Encyclopedic Jokes. I'm going to do some of those today, and they'll be up in the next couple of days. I'm hammering it now. I'm going to do it, guys. It's going to happen. I'm going to finish that book. I don't know why, but I want to do it. It's one of those things. If you want to come see my live stand-up, I've got a couple of previews coming up for my show, which is It's Not Just for Christmas, which will be at the Edinburgh Fringe 2017, also at Hastings Festival in June. So if you want to come see the previews there where I hammer some stuff out, I'm really happy with how the show is going, so come see me there. You can find those dates on my website, which is winterphonander.com. If you like this podcast and you want to donate to us, we're on Patreon. Just go to Patreon, type in The Comedy Defect Podcast, and donate as much or as little as you want. But if you can kick something back to us, just leave us a nice review on iTunes or Podbean, because it really helps. We've had a couple of nice comments, a couple of nice reviews on a couple of episodes. So if you want to keep them coming in, nice honest review, it'd be much appreciated. It really helps. But this is episode 31 for the Comedy Defect Podcast, and is with Gary Sansome, a very funny guy, very good friend of mine. Enjoy. Gary Sansome, welcome to the Comedy Defect. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm well. I'm very well, mate. I see you wanted me to talk about this year, 4 days old. So
yeah, I know.
It's going to be very quick. So
this is true. So how's the last 4 days been going of this year?
Last 4 days have been brilliant. Went to watch West Ham get hammered on Friday. Right. That was good. It was a lovely Daphne Barham. Yeah. And that was fun. And since that, just been hanging out. Not done any gigs this year yet, so I'm available.
So 100% success rate.
Yeah, I'm doing the new Angel tomorrow, so that should be fun. So
the William Murray
or the Bill Murray, whatever. It's a pub that I used to drink in, which is a strange thing in comedy that so many pubs that I used to drink in. Yeah, I've done now. You go back and like you've not heard of this pub, and you're like, oh, I've been here before.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I used to live around the corner from there. First place I ever lived in London was round the corner from that. It was a pub called the Mucky Pub because it was friendly to dogs. You could take dogs in. It was a pub you used to go to and have a pint. So I'd be very interested to see what it looks like now.
Yeah.
So.
Gary, what have you been doing in 2016? What were you up to?
2016 was great. I travelled quite a lot in 2016. I guess one of the most exciting things would have been gigging in Hawaii. That was great. Yeah, I basically was working out in America last year. So I went out to America after Edinburgh, and I'd been in New York to do some gigs the year before. Because I've been going out to America the last 3 years. I got hooked up with a festival in Olkahoma, which is one of the biggest Scottish festivals in Olkahoma. So one of my friends, Luke, has started doing comedy there, and we do a comedy stage, but the main duty really is bringing the bands onto the stage on the big stage, so which is great. There's like up to 1,000 people there, maybe more when you're bringing the bands on. You do like drinking competitions, and it's a lot of fun. Very strange experience. We all walk about in like kilts and all this sort of stuff in the middle of Tulsa, Oklahoma. So it's in a lovely park. So.
Do you go fully traditional as well on stage?
I don't go traditional, no. So you'd have to buy one. So
right.
I don't own a kilt. So.
No.
If they gave me one for free, I might, but I don't have any intention of buying a kilt for the sake of 2 days. But yeah, it's great fun. So that set me up. That basically pays for me to get out to America. So the first year I did it, I met up with a guy called Roddy McInnes, who was running shows at Stand Up New York at the time, and it still is one of the best rooms in New York. There's been some changes there recently, so I don't know what's going on with the club. I didn't do it the last time. He set me up with some gigs in New York, so I did a Friday night Stand Up New York, which was great. I was performing alongside guys from like Last Comic Standing, Joe Mackey, who's doing the Comedy Store a lot now, and is doing shows at the Carolines at the weekends now, so it was great to perform alongside him. He was just getting big there, and it was a Friday night gig in New York. It's brilliant, it's rammed out, the crowd was rammed out. It was great because I basically flew in to New York, went straight from the airport to the gig, so I had a very quick shower and got a taxi to the gig, straight on, watched a bit of the gig and then on stage. It's a brilliant room, Stand Up New York, especially when it's full like that. It was great. It was a really great gig. So that gave me the taste for gigging in New York. I already had the contact, knew I could get gigs. So I went back again last year in September. I mean, I'd just try to get this. I've been travelling so much, it's hard to have the timeline of when. So the first year I did it was last year. So that's actually 2 years ago. Right. So the first year I did the Scottish Festival, I only went over for a week. But it gave me the taste of comedy in New York. So I was like, I want to go back and do it for a period of time and see what it's like, because you can't get a vibe of anywhere within a couple of days. You can go for a weekend, do a few spots, but you don't really get to find out about the circuit and stuff. So I went back and did it again. I did it the year before last. So I went back. I was after doing that one gig, I wanted to go back, and I gigged there. Did quite a few of the clubs. So I did Stand Up New York. So Roddy was running a gig every Wednesday. I would do spots there and also go and watch. He had people like Godfrey on. Lots of good names, He'd have lots of good names coming down. So, and I'd done sets at Greenwich Comedy Club. Last year I went back in June and did Carolines, which was great. So it's obviously one of the most famous comedy clubs in the world. Everyone's been there, Patrice O'Neill and Jerry Seinfeld, Larry David. So performing there was great. The show was brilliant. I was very lucky because the Monday night is sort of new material night, so sometimes it's not so busy. So I've heard horror stories of like 10 people in there in the room. Holds like 500-600 people. But the night I did it, there was like 100 people in, so I got really lucky in that sense, and there was a lot of great acts on. So I was actually followed. I think his name's Darnell Rollins. So he was doing Bill Clinton on Saturday Night Live. So he's performed alongside Bill Clinton at the State of the Union address. So he did Bill Clinton for years. He was actually doing Donald Trump up until Alec Baldwin came in, and he lost that, unfortunately for him. Best rating Saturday Night Live I've done for 20 years, and he was doing Donald Trump at the start, but Baldwin obviously came in and took that over. But he did still do Bill Clinton alongside that. So I had to follow him. So that was good because the crowd did know who he was. So it was a bit of buzz, and it was like also because he kind of could do as long set as he wanted. Most people are doing 5 to 10 minutes or something, but he went on, and it was like he could be on for an hour. It's just whatever the fuck he wants to do, kind of thing. But he didn't take the piss actually at all. He did 10 minutes. And it was fine. He didn't rip the arse out of it, and the room was fine, and went on and had a good set, which was great. I got a decent video of it.
Yeah, great.
It wasn't quite as good as I wanted, but
it's always a way. There was always this little something in there. You got, I could just tighten that up a little bit.
Yeah, the thing is, because I need a new video. The last video I got is from 2014 in Australia. It was I've been very lucky with the videos I've got. So I got the Comedy Store 5-minute set. Comedy Store, great video he sent to promoters. And then I did a gig in Australia, which was one of the best gigs I've ever done, and I got a recording of that, which was professionally done. I didn't even know they were doing it, but they were recording it, and I found out somehow that they'd done it, and I actually paid a bit of money to get that recording, and he actually edited it together. Definitely worth it. He only charged $100 or something, and I definitely got a lot of gigs from that video. And this was this great gig in an amphitheatre in summer in Western Australia.
I think I saw that a picture on your on the feed or something. You're doing it looks amazing.
So it's been the Facebook. It's a cover photo, because it looks great. People come to your Facebook page. It's a great picture of a vast so it's an amphitheatre, and I got a video of that, and it was a great gig.
You toured in Australia then as well?
Yeah. So I moved to Australia really, really very soon after I won that Gong show. So I moved out to Australia. I moved out for a job in advertising. The comedy, I got so much comedy work that I was able to leave that job, which was great. I couldn't believe some of the money I was getting offered in Australia. It's too good to be true. And it turned out it was in some cases, but it was great. So I went out and lived in Western Australia. I mean, the thing is, comedy was really booming there at the time. Still doing well, but the economy is not doing as well in Western Australia. So Perth Fringe is just about to start now. So hopefully people won't have a terrible time in it, but I think it's going to be tough for some of the acts at the Perth Fringe this year. It could be difficult because I think last year was difficult for some people because the economy in Australia isn't where it was. Like, same thing that happens with all the festivals. Like, people hear it's good, they all jump on it, and then it gets too big, and then you still are able to make money out of it, but you have to. It's not like easy. It becomes difficult as opposed to like every show is going to sell out and you don't have to do anything. So really lucky. I got there at a really good time. So I feel like comedy's kind of got to a point in Britain where it couldn't ever get any bigger. Probably was before I even started, to be honest. And then in Australia, it's like still. Obviously, it's been big in Australia for a long time, but I don't think comedy clubs have been such a big thing. Whereas, like, you would still have like big names like Carl Barron and that would do tours. The actual comedy club scene, I think, has got a lot bigger there in the last few years. So I went there at a good time, and also my experience level, which doesn't mean so much here. It's hard to get gigs in Britain at times, and it's fair enough, because every gig you apply for, there's probably 50 other people with exactly the same experience as you, if not better. But in Australia, doing pro gigs and stuff like that, it means something there. So I was able to get good gigs, MCing gigs, and get rebooked by most promoters. So it went really well, and I ended up going back there last year, which was great. So went back there, had a free trip out to Australia, and that's when I ended up in Hawaii as well, because I wanted to get back to America, which is when I did Caroline. So Hawaii was one I didn't ever expect to be doing.
But with the Australia gigs now, did you manage? There's a mining circuit there, isn't there?
Yeah, I didn't really do the mining circuit. I've heard. I know a lot of guys who did, and I've heard really like fucked up stories and stuff like that. People peeing in people's tents and things like that. And because the mining gigs, you do the gig like the guys are working shifts. So some of the gigs are like 6 a.m. So you do a gig at 6 a.m, and they're supposed to be terrible, but the money's quite good for them. But I never got. I know the guy Chris Dooley, actually gigged with him a few times, but I never actually did them.
Right.
Or particularly fancied them.
Yeah. They sound a bit rough and ready sort of thing.
Yeah, but the money was good. So if someone, I mean, I was pretty busy gig wise, so I wasn't really desperate to get them. I never ever pushed to get them, but the money was apparently quite good for them. But I did gig in Kalgoorlie, which is a mining town, which was really, really fun.
No whimsy.
No whimsy as such. No, it was a nice gig. It wasn't a really, really hard gig or a like rough gig. Really, you might expect. It was a mining community with not really mining people. I mean, most of them probably connected some way because that's all that's there. So they have like the biggest. You should have a look at it. I'll show you a Google image of the biggest outdoor mining pit in the world. So it's massive to see. But yeah, that was like 8 hours from Perth. You got a train there. That was great. And MC 2 gigs there. The Sons of Fred, who are a really good act. They came and did Edinburgh last year. And that was really fun. Cool. It was new acts on. It was all new acts, but they all did really well. So
you went from Australia to Hawaii then, is that right?
Not that time when I was there, but yeah, this year I did. So this year I was like doing Australia, went back to Australia, wanted to get to America. I was having a family holiday in Florida, and also wanted to go and do Caroline's again. At this time, I went back to New York. I did some other gigs, but it was the main pulling point was to do Caroline's.
Did you do the Disneyland thing?
Yeah, I did all the Disneyland things. Yeah, that was amazing.
What was your favourite ride?
Favourite ride? Disneyland. Fucking hell.
Did you go to like Epcot and all of those things and like It's a Small World and all this?
Yeah, did it. Did all that stuff. And Animal Kingdom's a new one. That's really fun. It's got the animals and stuff. Obviously, that was fun.
Yeah, cool.
But I can't really think of a favourite ride.
I like the. I think was it the Aerosmith ride?
I was too scared for that.
Oh really? Yeah.
I don't really like roller coasters.
Oh, right.
I don't mind them, but you end up just going on and like having a sore neck. So it's like you're on it for 2 minutes and you walk off and you got a sore neck for weeks. But I've been on roller coasters, but I wouldn't necessarily queue up for ages. And I think when I go on roller coasters, usually it's like I've had a couple of pints as well.
Right.
So that helps for the courage, you know.
And the pain relief afterwards, like, you know, I guess.
Yeah, Hawaii was really fun. It's a very small scene out there. There's not a comedy club out there. I think there could be, but there isn't. I actually missed Amy Schumer there by 1 week. She did the same room that I did. A really strange sort of pool hall type of place in a car park. So it's a random... Because everyone drives in America, I guess, to the pubs and bars. But it was just in a car park. You don't really get pubs and car parks in Britain. And it was quite a nice little room. They were all quite small gigs, the gigs I did in Hawaii, but fun. Gig in Hawaii.
What's the difference between gigging over here in the UK and gigging in, like, say, America, like in New York? You can go darker, I guess, in New York than you can over here, or would you just do your own thing? Or
I mean, I don't do dark material, so it doesn't really affect me. You know, so I don't really
just do the same thing you do.
Yeah, some jokes you can't do because they're locally referenced to Britain, so you change it up a little bit. Maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing. But my comedy kind of, because I lived in Australia, a lot of it is kind of about worldwide celebrities, so it kind of can use it in Olkahoma, Hawaii,
more universal stuff.
Dundee.
You've just become more. Your references have just become more universal, really. Yeah,
I've got universal references. So that helps my style. In New York, I think the comics do have a bit more leeway with the crowd. I think that there's a bit more uptightness in the UK. Yeah, I think that Americans are more confident and outgoing than British people, so that does help, and it means that they're not as scared to say things that some American comics will say. It's just a different... It's same in Australia as well, that Britain is quite an uptight culture, and it feeds through into comedy, so comics don't really go quite as deep as they do. Obviously there's a lot more comics there as well, so... then obviously people like Frankie Boyle who do stuff that's just as dark, so it's not that you can't do it in Britain, it's just that on the circuit I think there is a bit more of a relaxed atmosphere. I don't think there's as much uptightness, and I think that's why.
So you're from Glasgow, is that right?
I'm from just outside Glasgow, a place called sort of Coatbridge, Airdrie, so lovely place. Yeah. Lovely place.
It's country then?
No, it's just a small commuter town. It used to be a mining town, so there's not a huge amount of stuff going on there. There's like one gig that's a comedian called Patrick Rawlings actually from there, so he's quite well known in Scotland, sort of headliner type act. So he started a gig there. Seemed to have had quite good acts on it, but there's not really much comedy there.
Yeah. Is that where you started gigging?
No, I started gigging in London, so I started because just for some fun, really. And did a comedy course, you know. Shouldn't be telling anyone that, but
what was the?
I think you got Mickey Flanagan did a comedy course, so I think Greg Davis. So I think that's all right.
That's all right. But that's it.
Yeah, I had no ambitions at all. I just did it for fun. A lot of my friends had left London, and I was looking for stuff to do. And also, the job I was working at had like a fund where they would give you like a couple of £100 to do whatever you wanted. So I did some acting classes and they kind of were fun, but they didn't really lead anywhere. Someone at the class mentioned he was doing a comedy course and he had a gig at the end of it. And that kind of appealed to do a stand-up gig. So 5-minute spot didn't seem like it was going to be... Seems like a long time when you're thinking about going on stage for the first time, but doesn't seem like the end of the world, you know. So I did the course and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. Doing like 5-minute set each week. You would write a set every week and that material and you would then do it at the end. It's obviously a protected environment where everyone's there, like your friends of the acts, no real punters in there, and they all kind of laugh at your stuff, you know, and it's a great buzz, 100 people all laughing.
Great, 100 people there, that's right.
Round about that, maybe a little less than that, I don't know, 60 to 100 people, something like that. 100 might be a bit on the, going a bit over the top, but it wasn't far off it, you know, there was a full room of people, at least 60 people, 60, 70 people on. Yeah, it was a great start, so it gave you just great buzz, you know.
How'd the next one go?
The next one I think was terrible, but not not crushingly bad, you know.
Right, that's good.
I think the next one, a lot of the people I did the course with just stopped. Not that they weren't good, they just didn't want to do it. They just didn't want to keep going. There's people that were quite strong in the course, but they just didn't keep doing it. But yeah, I got into Chortle and I got this gig down in Ealing, and it was just in a pub, and it was one of those ones where you have like a door behind you, and there was people at the bar talking. I remember some of the people that were on. Some of the guys are still going. Mark Diamond was there. Pete Dobbin was there.
Yeah, Mark Diamond's not gigging anymore, is he? He's finished.
I haven't seen him for ages, but he was one of those people that you would not see a lot anyway. But don't know. I haven't.
The Giant.
He was a tall chap. Yeah.
He. I think that I was talking to Alex Perry, and he said that doesn't do comedy anymore.
There's a few. I think it's that stage where if we've done everything we can, kind of thing. 5-6 years.
Mm-mm.
So there's quite a few people who started similar time to me. I think have kind of given up, you know. Or not given, just had enough, you know.
Had enough of the
I've done it. I've done as much as they want, you know.
That's it.
So Henry, I saw that Paul Dance, who was really funny.
Yeah.
He quit because, but I think it was more like he was having illness or whatever. So,
right.
But yeah, so this gig was it was a terrible gig. So it wasn't like there was nothing you could do. So everyone had struggled. 4 or 5 people in the area.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I'd gone in to a room full of people and it was booed out. So
No.
And then the next one I did was the Spiky Mike Gong show, and that I went up with Jack Samuel Warner, who's another person who doesn't do it anymore.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Who was good. Yeah. He was doing quite well. You know, he got to Leicester Square final, beat the Gong. I think he might have actually won the Gong.
Oh yeah.
So he doesn't do it anymore. But we went up together and got through that, and that was great. You know, the Blessing and Carriage. I think he still runs a gig there, and it's I don't know if you've been to that room, but it's a really nice pub gig, and it was great. So that was 3 gigs in. I've done it.
Yeah,
I've conquered the world.
I've completed comedy. I've done it. I'm killing it. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and then after that, I remember I don't really remember what happened after that. I remember doing the Carnivale gig for Gwilym Argos,
right? Yeah,
the comedy bin, and having a terrible gig there.
Oh yeah, they're difficult rooms to play anyway, aren't they? Really?
Yeah, that was
they're not easy.
It was the first time I met Johnny Armstrong that night.
Yeah,
so it wasn't a great night on.
He's disputed Berlin.
He's in very well. Yeah, he's very big in Germany.
Yeah.
I definitely recommend you watch his set on German TV. It's very
fair
fun.
play. Yeah,
he's got a big beard and.
Oh really? Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely was one of the funniest things I've seen.
Right. Yeah.
Still in the same set, I think. So.
Oh really?
Yeah. But good on him. Good for him.
Yeah.
He seems to have done quite well at this. So.
That's cool.
I don't think he'll be coming back. But
really?
I remember I was doing this thing where I would go on with glasses and do like Moby or whatever. And it was kind of an all or nothing bit, I think, really, because it was like, if I did it, it's like your opening joke, if it dies and it's arse, then if it really dies, then you need somewhere to go after that. So, yeah, that was one of the very, very few times I've been doing comedy that I've wanted to come off stage while I was on. So I think even when you're on, you're enjoying it, really. You're getting something out of it for the most part, but that was definitely one where I didn't know what to do, and I was like, I need to get off. I just can't wait till this is over.
Yeah.
So that was terrible. That was terrible. Well, it wasn't like it, and I'm not that sort of person that came off and like I was going to kill myself. It was. I didn't enjoy it. So,
you know that you.
So it's hardly ever happened. Yeah. It happened. There was a gig in Glasgow I did not that long ago. That happened, but I was really tired, and it was. I turned up for this new material gig in Glasgow on a Wednesday night. And I was expecting there would be 10 people there. I'll try a couple of stupid jokes and leave. But I went there and it was rammed. It was absolutely rammed. There's people in here who were drunk. It's like a Saturday night crowd. Yeah. And I was really tired and it didn't start that well, you know. And I'm probably one of the more experienced acts on. And because I'm not that well known in Scotland, I was I would expect to do better or whatever. And I was like, God, this is terrible. Yeah. Can't wait to get off here. But it wasn't that bad. But
everyone has a bad day at work, don't they? Like that's it. You can't.
Yeah, but it's rare that I would ever want to come off. But that's happened 2 or 3 times.
I saw you had a poster for your show.
Yeah.
What was the name of your show again?
Oh, you should have done your research.
No, I know. I had it.
Sleeper hit Edinburgh last year. It's a venue called Nightcap, which was next door at the stand.
Yeah.
So it was great. Really lucky to get it. It was a last minute thing that PBH got. Came back from travelling or whatever. Didn't quite know what I was going to do. Yeah, I got this room just next door to the stand. Yeah. So pretty good location, really. Did really well. Yeah. The show's called Bald Man Sings Rihanna. Doing that again in Glasgow, and also doing one in London on the 9th of March for Andy Kirk. There you go. And so I'll be doing a few more. There's a few other comedy festivals that are popping up. So
what other festivals are you doing this year then?
Well, that's it. Glasgow, possibly Edinburgh. This Rotherham thing I might be doing. Yeah. After that, I don't know, Hastings I might do. I think you're doing it this year, yeah? Have you done it before? Or?
No, never done it before, no.
Yeah, I had fun there last year. It was good fun. It was a small show, but it was good.
Do you sing in it?
Yeah, it's called Bald Man Sings Rihanna.
You do sing Rihanna, right?
Yeah, but it's not just singing Rihanna, you know. So that's the name of the show. Yeah. It attracts people, and there's enough about Rihanna to keep me going. But it's a kind of show that I could keep doing because, you know, the show's not all about Rihanna. So there's about it's like Rihanna song, a few jokes about that, and then another bit, and then I'll do more Rihanna bits, so you can just insert any material onto it, really.
Yeah,
so.
That's handy. Yeah, that's you need a hook sometimes.
I think so. Yeah, I think you do really. If no one knows who you are,
sure.
Unless you've got like a really good venue, that like Espionage or somewhere on the Free Fringe anyway, or the Beehive or something like that, which is just going to film no matter what you do. Yeah, it was a great show, and I feel like it's a great show for me to do anyway. I think people seem to enjoy it. So, also it's a funny show. So people come. The name's a bit funny. People come expecting something stupid.
Yeah.
So they come in a good mood, and
that's true.
And they leave in a bad mood. But it was great. I didn't know what to expect because I've never done it was a 45-minute show, so I didn't want to, for the big debut or whatever. So just coming. Maybe.
Did your family come see you?
Yeah, they did actually. Yeah, they came. Mum and Dad actually came on the first night, so that was interesting.
Yeah,
that was a bit. I didn't necessarily want them to come on the first night because it was a bit like I'd only done it twice before.
Of course,
I didn't. Because this is why I didn't really try to get reviewed or anything like that. I wasn't in the programme, so I wasn't in the programme. I didn't want because I'd never done the show before. I didn't even. This is a new venue in Edinburgh, so I hadn't seen the room, so I didn't know what to expect when I got there. It could have been some cupboard or something like that, but it was a really nice room.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to start saying, "Oh, come and see this show," and then you turn it's a terrible venue. There's 3 people there, and you got a reviewer in. It's not really what you want, but I got the. I mean, maybe I could have done that because it went well. It went a lot better than I expected, as well as I could have expected at the higher echelons. So I didn't push for reviews or anything, and I'd done it twice. So I did the one in Hastings, which went really well, and then I did another preview, which was really funny. It was terrible. So I'd done. It was like I guess that's what you want at a preview. You want a bit of you want that. I'm not quite sure how if it's quite. I guess I don't know. Maybe you want to know that the show's great.
Grind it out. What needs to be tweaked?
But yeah, I knew the good thing about that preview was, and I think I knew at the time that it was not going to be as bad. It wasn't be as hard as that again. It was a really. So I did it with a guy called Andy Ritchie who runs gigs in Barcelona. Really nice guy. And I don't really know anyone in Edinburgh so much, so to get people to come and see a preview of me, unless you're going to film the room with friends, and this was for a small promoter, so there wasn't going to be any like natural audience there. So Andy asked him because I thought he could help me out with bringing some people in. So he just was doing some work in Edinburgh at the time, and he brought people. These are people I didn't actually know very well. So they came, and there was about 10 of them, which for the size of the room was good. It was a good preview size of audience. But they were quite strange. They were just a strange group of people. They all worked together, so they weren't a group of friends. And it was all like one group of friends. And Andy does gigs in Barcelona, but he's quite new. So he was emceeing, and he kind of knew everyone in the crowd, and he was like oversold that he was really nervous about that and create a strange atmosphere. And it was just going to be. It would have been tough anyway. It wasn't Andy's fault at all. But it was a grind of a show. No, not a disaster. They clearly hadn't hated me or anything, but it was hard going to get laughs or whatever over 45 minutes. And it was a strange incident with a guy. I think that shoe that was untied, and I asked him to tie my shoelace, just joking around, and he got really, really upset about it. It was like really awkward, and it was really hard to come back from that. It was really, really. He took it as if I'd asked him to like. I don't know, wipe my bum or something. I asked him to tie my lace. It wasn't a big deal if he didn't do it, but it was like, I don't know, maybe at the end of the day it wasn't the audience member's fault because I brought him into it, but he reacted quite strangely. So,
but really offended. Maybe he didn't know how to tie shoelaces.
Maybe that was it. Maybe I thought I was going to get shown up. But yeah, so that was tough. So after that, there was nothing in Edinburgh. There's a couple of tough ones in Edinburgh. Nothing like that though. But mostly the shows in Edinburgh were really good to good. There was only one that I would say. There was a couple of the Sundays with a small audience, and there was one of the first Saturday. So that was the day when Mum and Dad came, my brother and his wife, and they came to the first one, and it actually went great. It was a Saturday night. It was absolutely really, really busy. It was a great show. Went really well. The Saturdays on the whole went really well. But then the next night was a Sunday, and it was like 12 people came, and this was a gig that was for me was really hard. It was probably the hardest one to perform in the whole run. They were a strange bunch of people, and it was a girl, it was an American girl, and she was kind of like tutting at some of the jokes and stuff like that. I was like, what is going on here? And for me, it was really, really, it was quite tough at times. And there was one point in the show I was like, you know what, I can't be doing with this. Let's just cancel this, but let's just walk off or just say that's enough is enough. But Eventually we got there in the end, and it had its ups and downs. And then out of like the 10 people, I got like 80 quid. So they all put in like a lot. They'd had a good time, and they had seen that I obviously had to work really hard to perform in front of this crowd. And then I left the room, and they were all like stood there like applauding, which was a really nice thing. Yeah. So and then we all went out drinking together. It was quite amazing, and for what had been hard work. But I think it did show you that in Edinburgh sometimes the audience, it's a very different crowd to maybe a normal gig where that the promoter's expecting something, and if they're not laughing, the promoter's like, "Oh, this guy isn't funny." But Edinburgh, like that, shows you that just because they're not necessarily showing you this love in terms of laughter necessarily, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not enjoying themselves.
That's it.
So they had a good time, and this girl who was saying was turning my jokes was like, "Oh, this was great," and like genuinely, you do get people who and are not being genuine when they say things like that. But she had a great time. But because she's like from small town America, just doesn't quite know what a comedy show is, how to react to it, and they had a great time.
And what about your mum and dad? How were they? What was the feedback you got after that? Because it was the first time they came. Yeah. Oh no! No, they had a great time. That wasn't the first time they've seen you perform, though, was it?
I think it's the first time they've seen me do a set before.
Right, wow.
They'd seen me MC before.
Yeah,
but I don't think they'd seen me do a set before. No.
And like, what was the feat? They loved it, right?
Yeah, they seemed to think it was good, so they enjoyed it. It was a really good show that night. It was one of the best ones, I think, which was great.
And your brother was there with his wife, is that right? You said?
Yeah, they had a...
And how, like, is he older or younger than you?
Yeah, he's a bit older than me.
Is he, right?
He's like 8 years older than me.
Right, and how did he react?
Yeah, he enjoyed it. Yeah,
that's great, man.
Yeah. And then my other brother came. Unfortunately, they came later in the run. My brother and his wife and my other brother. And
got two brothers in.
Yeah. So they came, and it wasn't a great show that night. It wasn't terrible, but I'd hoped it was going to be one like a really good one.
Yeah.
It was good. It was solid, but it wasn't. The room I had was quite small, so it's if people don't come that like you can see everyone in the crowd. Yeah. So a lot of the show is based on like audience interaction. Yeah. So when there are people there that it makes it more difficult, I think, because it's so off the cuff,
Yeah.
And you have got that bit in the back of your head that they're right there. Like it's not like if they're in a crowd, like in the stand or something in a dark room, you don't really. You forget they're there, but in that room you couldn't forget. So, but no, it was good. But I had a great run. Yeah, who knows? I've applied this year. I don't know what the situation is with me, so I don't know what I'll be doing this year. But I may do the same show again.
Can you take it back to the Scottish Festival in Oklahoma?
It's not a comedy festival, so it's not shows. We do a stand-up show where 3 guys will do a set. Yeah, compilation show, and we'll bring bands on at the stage. So yeah, so the shows can change, so it's a fun show. Everyone seems to have a good time.
There's a lot of that stuff you can use for your normal stand-up set as well, from the Baldman Sings Rihanna.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not linked to any show. So
did you manage to record it as well?
I didn't record the show, no.
Right.
Yeah, it could have been nice to have a recording. Sell it on DVD.
Why not? A little bit of merch after the show, T-shirts.
Yeah, that's a thing that I think more comics probably should do. Really, it's definitely a thing in America that they do. But British people, I think, again, the uptightness and the awkwardness of British comics is like they don't want to push themselves too much. Yeah. I guess it is difficult if you're turning up and doing you're opening or doing 10 minutes to come and bring merchandise or whatever. But the headliners don't do it either. So yeah, people won't buy it, especially if I've had a good time. People should do more of it. It's just a DVD. They might have never watched it, but again, DVDs are tough now. But
yeah,
I guess it takes a bit of effort and forward thinking. But I've seen guys in Australia, Colin Cole would be selling out of t-shirts. Just t-shirts I laughed with Colin Cole, nothing to them, but they've had a great time, and it's like $5. So this guy's great. We like this guy. We want to help him out, and they've had a few pints. Yeah. And the t-shirt goes in the bin or like in a drawer and never ever see it again. But it's a good way to make extra money. We've got a friend, Luke, who did the Scottish Festival with. He always sells out of the CDs at it. Something I probably should do for like festivals like that. But
do you do improv as well, or do you stand up?
Yeah, I do improv in sets. I MC a lot, and I like MCing, so I like to improvise with the audience. But I haven't actually done any improv now. I went to see Second City last year, which was really fun in Chicago. So I'd like to do some of it to see how I feel. Who knows? I've done acting classes and things like that, so you're improvising there. So yeah, I saw that there's some courses coming up, so I might look at doing that. Add an extra string to the bow.
The MCing stuff really helps with everything else anyway, doesn't it? Just being relaxed and being free on stage and riffing and where you're going to go with it.
Definitely, yeah. So I started MCing in Edinburgh. The first Edinburgh show I did was like Brit Hot Comedy, so it was a compilation show. So Haley Crossan and Stu Privet. So yeah, I did that to practice MCing. We would change the lineup every day, headline one day, open one day, etc. So yeah, MC'd at that, and then started my own gig, which I had lots of great acts come down and do. I had 2 gigs. Originally I had Stokey Jokey, which is in Stoke Newington, and then I had Alice in Thunderland, which ran in West Hampstead for a year and a half. So in a really nice little room. Both gigs went well, so I really do like MCing. It's a lot of fun. I don't say I prefer it, but I think doing my own shows and MCing would be the things I prefer. But then sometimes doing sets is great as well.
Yeah, a little quick hit and off we go. Right.
But yeah, everyone should try and MC at some point. You know, setting up your own gig, but don't just set up your own gig if you have no experience of stand up and start MCing. You know, you have to have some MCing experience before you jump in and do it.
Going way back now, when was the first time you thought like were you like a performer as a kid? Were you in school? Did they teach acting or drama or anything?
I was kind of a class clown, so I would get laughs and stuff like that but not massively, you know. But yes, I definitely did get laughs at school and mess about a bit. I did some best man speeches, so I think it's a story for quite a few comedians that that's how they kind of got the bug for it kind of thing. So I did a couple of best man speeches, and that was the first time you get that feeling of the big laugh from the crowd. And a few people mentioned it, so it was kind of in my head from after that. Yeah, it was a lot of fun doing the best man speeches, and it's very similar vibe to after you've had a really good gig, you know.
You're taking Baldmansing's Rihanna back up there?
Possibly, yeah.
Alright, so you're doing the same show again, the second in 2 years in a row?
Yeah. Yeah. Terrible, wasn't it?
No, I don't know. There's no rules to it, is there?
So, no, at all. I mean, Louisa did it, so Louisa did it very successfully, so I feel like, and then Raoul and Coley did the same, not necessarily the same show, but the same title. So as I say, with me, it's not necessarily the same show. The show could be completely different. It doesn't need to be the same at all. Yeah. But I have the same name. The name sells it to people, to audience. Yeah. It's not been reviewed this show. So last year maybe kind of was a preview of the film show. Yeah. So as I say, Louisa did it, and she did it very successfully. So I don't really feel there's any. If you've got a good show, especially like no one's seen it, no one has seen it. So obviously audience have seen it, but there's no. I don't see why you can't take the same show up and just change it a bit. There's no law against it. So.
That's it.
Some people want to write a new hour. That's the challenge they set themselves every year. They want to write a new hour of comedy, and that's fine. But if you're still enjoying performing the material, there's no need to throw it out.
That's
true, Seinfeld's doing the same material after 20 years. You know, he's got opinion where like the crowd come to see specific bits of his stuff. Well, other people will disagree with him, and other big comics say, I want to do new stuff all the time. For him, he feels like there's an obligation to do some of the best bits, which I kind of get, you know. And Kevin Bridges gets heckled from people saying, "Oh, do that bit" and stuff.
That's the greatest hits, isn't it? It's like an album.
Jimmy Carr just did the greatest hits tour there, so he put like all of his best jokes from all his tours and did them. So yeah,
sure, why not? Yeah, that's it. There's nothing wrong with polishing your stuff up you got already. There's always a new way to look at it, or a new way to to craft a new bit out of it, isn't it?
Yeah, if I'd done this show though and it'd been completely reviewed, and I'd felt like it was impossible. Maybe it's time to get rid of it. But it was like last year. It was the last minute things. I hadn't done any previews, so the amount of shows I did in Edinburgh was probably about the amount of previews some people do. And the show works and it brings people in. So I think it's very difficult if no one knows who you are to find the show title that is going to bring people in.
The hook, you know.
So what would Beyonce do was a great title. So there's no reason to drop it. It was going to bring people in. Yeah. And that the show title doesn't mean anything in that case. You know, you could write a different hour.
Yeah, true.
So there's no reason for me to change the name of the show. I don't think. You know, unless I can find another name. You have to find another title that's going to bring people in. So just saying Gary Sansome, blah blah blah. Yeah. That doesn't mean anything to anyone. So yeah, I mean, Will Franken had an awards. Did you hear Will Franken?
I've read all those.
And he was like, so people who people who do the Harry Potter shows or whatever, you win the award because. But yeah, they're taking advantage of it. They're jumping on the top of it, and I'm doing the same. Yeah,
that's it. So you need a way to. There's a way in. Like you're just carving your way in. That's you're trying to find.
You have to bring. There has to be something for the people that come to the show.
Like Yanni did the Yanni just
the Simpsons.
Simpsons. That's it. That's doing really well.
Oh yeah, it's a great idea for a show. Yeah, and he's done really well with it. So well done to him.
That's in the Perth Festival that you were talking about there as well. He took it there, and he said he's doing great there with it. And you know,
he's taking it back again.
He's taking it back again. Yeah,
that's great, man. I've only had a good time in Edinburgh, so good for him.
That's it, man. The same sort of thing. That's it. If you can find that hook, you might as well just keep using it until until you come up with something else, maybe.
Just drain as much out of it as well.
Milk the shit out of it. What's wrong with that? That's it. If you have just some sort of angle.
I think so, mate. Yeah, definitely. I think if you've got a show that brings people in, then keep at it, man.
And so, do you do any other writing apart from just stand up?
I write for everything.
Oh, everything. Yep.
Any stand up on TV or anything, it's all been written by me.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
so, anything that's good.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I did think that there was a bit of a Gary Sampson touch about a lot of things. Yeah, I'm like an
anonymous writer.
All the good stuff, none of the shit stuff. All the good stuff. Right?
All the good stuff. No, I just write my stuff. I would like to write for shows. I would, but at this point, I haven't really looked into it too much. I haven't pushed myself forward.
Touring stuff as well.
Not touring stuff, but like things like, I don't know, there isn't really the UK equivalent of the ITV are trying to bring in a show now. I think it's called the Nightly Show ITV are bringing in, which is going to be their version of like Stephen Colbert.
Right.
So a job like that, which is why I think there's a lot of good comics in America who write for The Daily Show and they write for Colbert, they write for Jimmy Fallon. So they've got a target there to write, but there's not really that much here in terms of writing. So there's not really. I guess there's like Newsjack and things like that, but yeah, writing is. I'm definitely one of the, like, say, it was like listening to Frankie Boyle the other day, and he was saying how much he enjoys the writing aspect of it, but he hates performing. It's a real, he really, really hates it. That's why he doesn't do much stand up, Or Jimmy Carr's on the other side, but he loves to perform. And I'm someone who probably likes the performance side more, I guess. But I do like writing, but just sitting down and doing it's difficult. Most of my stuff just. I see something in the press or see something on TV and then I'll write a joke about it in my head and try it on stage. But it's a discipline that I should probably try and get better at, is sitting down and writing. I've put a lot into doing stand up, but there's a lot more I could put into it as well.
Yeah.
Which I feel like you get the rewards if you put that into it. So that I'm doing quite well for what I'm
putting in.
For what I'm putting in, I'm doing well, so I'm quite happy. But I should probably write more, but I don't mind. It's like when I compare it to when I was at university. If you would, like, I wouldn't write an essay until like the night before, so there's no deadline on comedy. So you have to push yourself to do it yourself. I know there's people who work with other people, and that gives them the deadline. So when I did a comedy course, for example, you would write 5 minutes each week, and it was good. But I guess I'm at that point where I've got. Not that the set's perfect or anything, but it works most of the time. Or 9 times out of 10 it'll work, and it'll work with most crowds for the type of gigs that I do anyway. So at this moment there's not really that pressure on me because I still enjoy performing. There's a lot of comedians who are like, oh God, can't perform this again, and I won't lie and say that it's sometimes that I don't want to perform the same thing again as well, but the thing that I enjoy is making the audience laugh, and also the improvisation aspect. The things that I think the audience enjoy more, and all comedians, even though they're writing new material, what they generally enjoy more is things that they don't expect to happen, the interaction with the crowd. And I've always, from day one, first gig, it spoke to the audience. A lot of comedians when they first start out are really scared to talk to the crowd, and that's something I got over straight away. I always talk to the crowd, and then obviously more and more I MC'd. So I much prefer it. Especially at my shows in Edinburgh, which were great, and there was a lot of it was improvised, and that's the stuff I like doing. So that's the side of it I like a lot more than the actual written down stuff. It is nice when a new joke works. Yeah, it is nice, but not as nice as when you do a bit that can never ever be repeated. And some comedians don't like that though. So I think if you came to my show in Edinburgh and they were like, "Wow, like that must have been annoying for you or whatever," and I was like, "No, like I love that. I like it when the audience get involved." Because 9 times out of 10, like the heckles are nice and they're trying to get involved. Yeah. When you're in a small room like that, you got to expect it, and I definitely invite it. So,
but like you even think to yourself, like they're sitting down, they've come to sit down to watch me. Yeah. They're heckling me. They're still sitting there. They still want to see something happen.
As long as it's not nasty, it's something that's helping. I mean, it's not really helping in a sense, but sometimes it's fun, Necessarily, if it's just if you're inviting it, clearly inviting it, which I do, invite it. So some comedians don't want that at all. Yeah. So then you shouldn't do it. But if the comedian is clearly comfortable with it, then to me that's what I enjoy more. So that's I guess comes into the fact that I enjoy performing more than the writing. Although it's just the fact that I should sit down and write more, maybe, but. If I want to, I will.
Yeah, that's it. So, that's it. Just what if again?
I have this conversation all the time. Where I should write more, and people always say, "Oh well, don't say that. Just start doing it." But
But it's like that with everything. Oh, I should exercise more. I should, do what you feel comfortable with.
But yeah, I mean, it's difficult, when you're doing gigs that you're getting paid for. Not necessarily someone who goes out and does loads of like open mic gigs, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Because it just isn't there for you. So doing new material, like you say, you'll do like 2 new material gigs a night and a week, and then you'll do 2 paid sets or something like that. It's like you'll do a bit of new material, and then it might work, and then you won't do it again for another week. Yeah. So unless you're like keeping on top of it, you need to be out doing that bit 5 times in the same week and getting it right, kind of thing. Getting that momentum of gigs is difficult.
Okay, what was your highest high of the last 2-3 years? We'll include the 4 days of this year and the last 2 years.
Definitely this is
the highest high. Thanks, man.
This is the highlight. Yeah. Last year, I don't know, Caroline's would have been up there doing. Caroline's was really good. Whether the last 3 years, I guess that Australia would come into that, doing Australia. What else was going on last year? I mean, Edinburgh was great. Like probably the Saturday night in Edinburgh, there was one that really stuck out as being incredibly good. But Edinburgh was great. Yeah, that was a real high. Some of the shows in Edinburgh were great. So I would say that Edinburgh was definitely the highlight of last year. How well it went. This was excellent Fringe. Yes, I did some great gigs in Australia as well, which were awesome. Doing Caroline's was definitely up there. I did the New York Comedy Club last year, which was a really fun set. The festival in Olkahoma would stick out from last year. I mean that was amazing last year. It just gets better every year we go. So
I mean, it's a fair as well, is it? As well as a festival. Did they have any like what kind of stuff do they have there? It sounds like go on.
They have these like horses walking around in the bacon heat. It's so sad.
Yeah,
made to walk around in like this. Have you seen one of those things where they walk around?
A bit like that thing in Conan where they have to push the thing. You have to push the thing around to grind the mill or something like that.
They have things like that. And you have like a kids glen and all this nonsense.
Right.
But it's very, very cheap to get. It's a really good festival. They have all types of music there. So they have like Celtic rock, and then they have the fiddles and all those things. Everything that Scottish people do every weekend. Maybe not, but guys walking around with big swords and stuff. Yeah, it's a very strange weekend, but they put you up in the Marriott, which is nice.
Oh, very nice. Is there like a big? Is there like a reenactment as well, or?
No. They have rugby on. They've been doing a rugby tournament the last couple of years. Rugby's getting bigger in America actually. So they're doing rugby tournament, and they have the clans are all there.
Oh yeah.
So they have like clans walking around.
No. The Scottish clans, of course. Yeah.
The Scottish clans.
Yeah.
What's the other clans?
Not the clan.
No, not the clan. You know what else was a really good highlight? It was really fun. I did a gig in Arkansas, and I ended up staying at John Daly's house. The golfer. So that was fucking brilliant. So he's like staying in his mansion. He came to a gig because it was his hometown. It was just bizarre. So he ended up. We just got hammered with him. He was singing outside because he's actually got lots of really good selling albums. Oh right, bizarrely enough. And so that would be one of the highlights of the last year. That was you just can't expect that sort of stuff to ever happen. So
do you golf yourself or?
I do actually. We were supposed to play the next day. Oh, we were supposed to play with John Daly, who's won 2 majors, so that could have been quite embarrassing. But he was well up for it. But his brother, who's also a massive drinker, was supposed to come back, and he was the one pushing for it. We'll play golf and all that because he's got a big mansion. And he's got a golf course on his house, so he was like, "I won't come and play." But John was up in that, but the other guy, his brother, never showed up, so it never happened. But that would have been nice. But they talk about these towns that have been left behind in America. This would definitely be one of those towns. There's some industry there, but there's not a lot. But there's nothing. There's like nothing there now. So, but he's from there, so he's a really like working class guy. So there's really nothing there. And we just randomly did this. My mate had done this gig because my mate's one of these guys who's like a road comic in America, and at least he was at that time. And what that involves is phoning up random bars and saying, "Do you want some comedy on?" So I'd done this show before and it'd been quite good. We went back there and it was quite a big. There was like probably 30 people there. One of which was John Daly. He was in the front row, so I was emceeing it, and I've got bad eyesight, so I couldn't really see. And he was sitting there, so I didn't know it was him. And I was like, I said, "Oh, you Ric Flair?" Because he's got like sort of whitey hair. Right. And he's like, "No, I'm John Daly." I'm like, "Nah, shut up." And he's like, "Yeah, actually, I am." Wow. That was this his local bar. So basically, his brother like ran that bar and stuff like that. So that was there. We got absolutely hammered. Cool, that was fun. So that would be a definite highlight.
Definitely, man. Yeah, that's it. Who's your golf? Is he one of your golfer like heroes?
No, I mean everyone knows John Daly because he wears the like outlandish gear. Like, I saw it in his house. He's got like a big massive cupboard with like all the different ones, which is quite funny to see. But yeah, heroes. I don't think of any golfing heroes. No, I forget that. Tom Watson's pretty good. He's like, he nearly won. The first time I went to watch the Open, he nearly won it, and he's like 60 to 65. So you see him, but you see like, heroes as such. No.
Will you possibly go back there again to Arkansas for your man?
I'd love to go back. I'd love to go back. Oh, the game of golf. I go to a round of golf there, so I'd love to go back. Yeah, I mean, why not? Yeah, I'd love to go back and play golf for John Bailey.
So what have you got coming up in the next few years?
Loads. I hope those are going to come from this.
Well, I hope so, man. This is it.
Ringing. So what's coming up? Let's have a look. So I've got that first gig of the year is at Angel Comedy tomorrow. I'm going to Dundee for the first time to do a gig next week. I've been known to slag Dundee off before, so I'll have to go to Dundee and face the music there. Gigging at the Stand on Sunday. Yeah. It's all my son Michael Redmond's Sunday service with Michael Redmond from Father Ted. You know Michael Redmond?
Yes.
I've got that coming up on Sunday. A few gigs here and there. I've got going to Cambridge coming up, going back to Deal. Big thing coming up is Glasgow Comedy Festival. I've never done the Glasgow Comedy Festival, so I'm quite excited about that. Going back to Ireland to do a gig in Dundalk, which is a really nice venue, the Spirit Store. I don't know if you've been there, but Tommy Kieran performs there. It's one of the best gigs in the country, really. I mean, I'd say I'd use bring Britain into that as well. Yeah, I did that last year. It was MC'd that. It was a really, really good gig to do. Ireland's one of my favourite places to gig, actually. So hopefully, depending what time, hopefully I'll do a few more gigs in Ireland. I just got back from there in December, went over and did some gigs in Ireland, which was a lot of fun.
What part? Just Dublin or
Dublin? Yeah. So I've done the Empire last year, Belfast Empire. Yeah. That was a good highlight last year as well. It was with Joe Rooney again, another guy for. I'm working my way around all the bit part players from Father Ted. So like, I did that Empire last year in Belfast, which is a really good gig to do. It's a strange room. It's a really strange room. So it's big old cinema or old theatre, and it's just really, really big and vast. So they're so spread out. Everyone's really far away, but they keep their attention.
That's good.
It's hard. It's a hard enough room, but they do laugh. So
that's good.
Hopefully, I'll go back there at some point. So Ireland, mainly Dublin is where I've been offered gigs and stuff in Galway and Cork. I haven't managed to make it there, but Dublin, Comedy Crunch did the last time. It's a really, really nice gig to do. I really like it. They Hate Me In, which is much maligned gig, but every time I do it seems to be fantastic.
Oh, really? Why is that?
I think they have up and down in terms of audience, but the times that I've been there, it's a nice
little room, like, isn't it?
I really like that room. You know, it's not perfect for comedy in a sense, but for the times I've done it, have been great. You know, it's that there's always some stuff going on there, so you can bring people into it. So for me, I think it's great, and there's the audience aren't like on top of you; they've got a bit of space, you know. So Dublin's a great place to get in, especially because there's loads of gigs quite close together as well. So I really love it, and I think the audiences are great there. I mean, a lot of them are tourists, but they're well up for it. So I think Dublin's that type. Everyone's in a good mood in Dublin. Everyone's drinking. So
Temple, and that's in the middle of Temple Bar anyway, isn't it? That's
most of the gigs are around that way. Yeah. So Hate Me In is pretty good. Yeah. And the Comedy Crunch at Stag's Head. Have you gigged in Dublin then?
Yeah. I lived in Dublin for about 2 years, and when I moved from Cork.
Oh, you're from Cork?
Yeah. Skibbereen.
All right, I've got a good friend in Cork, and nearly went down there. Last year to do a gig there. Is it Bob Hennigan maybe or something like that?
Oh yeah, a bearded fella. It's Bob Hennigan. I think he's a cartoonist as well, isn't he?
So I'd like to get down to Cork at some point. I need to want to get around more than just Dublin. So, but
The thing is, I ended up Dublin for 2 years, and I was gigging it for a bit over there, and then like you just kind of get too used to the certain rooms, and you don't like. Then when you go to another room, you're terrified. Because it's like it's like doing it in your sitting room at home, like you're going out into someone else's sitting room, going, "Fuck it, I don't know where anything is here," you know. And that was when I first started, back in the day.
So I pretty much got some decent stuff lined up to the end of April.
Oh, nice.
And then after that,
Hastings and the Fringe, as you were saying.
I don't know if I'll be doing Hastings this year, so I haven't applied for it yet, but it's possible. I had a good time there last year, but it's not set in stone because I'm still deciding what else I'm going to do. So. Who knows? I might go to Vietnam or something like that. I might be in the UK this year. I'll be going back to do the festival in Olkahoma in September. Which bizarrely, I haven't been booking gigs at that late in the year, but I got offered a gig Bearcat, which could be fun. Booked that in the other day, but they offered me the weekend that I'll be in America. So I've got 1 weekend booked in that last bit of the year, and then they offered me that. So I had to turn that Bearcat one down and get it in October. But should be going back to Olkahoma, and hopefully I can do a few more gigs in New York when I'm around there. And I've done a good percentage of the clubs in New York now. So just ticking them all off. You know. Great, I did did a headline set at Gotham, which was really good.
Nice.
That would have been a highlight. Yeah, getting paid in New York is difficult. So I got paid to headline a gig in New York. That was really fun. But yeah, just trying to just performing at all the clubs in New York would be great. And the Comedy Cellar's probably, apart from the Comedy Cellar, like most of them I've got are attainable in terms of they have different types of nights. You know, they have lots of different things. So the Comedy Cellar I think is attainable eventually, but you really need some sort of TV credits or some sort of in to get on there. Yeah. But it was a great venue.
So is that your aim now to sort of like just get more credits under the belt?
I'd gigging away and see what happens, you know. Always been the way I've done it, so just keep gigging away and see what happens, you know. I think it serves you alright. There's no point in setting these targets.
Control what you can, isn't it? Like you can't control the unexpected.
Yeah, I've had targets. I think most of the things I want to do I've done, so within reason, you know. I didn't target I was going to be headlining the Comedy Store or on at the Apollo, live at the Apollo. I wanted to do the only thing I was like, to me, like when you first start, it's like getting paid is like a thing where it's just like, how can you ever get paid to do something that you would do for free? Yeah. And then it took like a year, but eventually started to get paid for it. So that was the one thing. It was at the start where I would quite like to get paid, just tick that box, you know, after doing the first gig, and then doing it in 3 different continents was never something I expected, you know, doing it in Hawaii, like doing it all over Australia, Tasmania, New Zealand, and doing it all over America, and I never ever thought that would happen, you know. So I had other targets in terms of which clubs I would play, and I've done most of them, or done better ones that I had wanted to do some ones and end up doing better gigs, so, you know, that kind of it sucked that, you know. So there's a few clubs I'd still like to do, you know. The Comedy Store in Sydney is disappointing I've not done that yet, so I'd love to go back and do that. So the first time when I was actually getting lots of work in Australia, the person who was booking it was very difficult to get hold of. But then last year I went back and they were like, yeah, I would love to have you on and that. But unfortunately I was there during the Sydney Comedy Festival, so they were, of course, they run the Sydney Comedy Festival basically. So of course they're prioritising the acts that are doing the festival. So that's a room I would really like to do. Because I mean, I've done the Comedy Store in London, you know, and I've done the Comedy Store in Manchester. I mean, they wear the gong shows, but I've got through them, you know. So I've done 5 minutes there. I know what it's like to perform at that room. I don't have any huge desire to go back there. I wouldn't mind, but I'm not that bothered about going back there. I'd like to at some point maybe, but they're just gigs at the end of the day, so I can do other rooms that have got that amount of people at them. So it's not like they're a huge target to me. So yeah, there's more rooms. I'd like the Comedy Store in Sydney's one I would like to do again. The Comedy Cellar in New York would be great, but it's a difficult one, you know. So that you really need to be doing something special to get on there. So that would be one that would be great to do. I'd love to perform there. Yeah. And but the store in Australia, I think I can definitely, if I do go back there, so is one I would definitely
tick that box.
I'd like to do it, but it's a nice room, but it's not the end of the world. I've done the equivalent of. I've done rooms like that. So Comedy Store in LA as well. I've been there, not performed there, but I've hung out there. And it's been fun. But I'd like to get on there, but it's a strange place, the Comedy Store in LA. They have lots of comedians on, so the shows really, really drag out. Well, there's a time when I went to LA and I got the time wrong for the show. I was going to go to the show. They're quite good in terms of letting acts in for free there, but I bought my ticket anyway. I didn't know anyone there. And actually the time difference, I missed the start of the show by an hour, and I still got there like an hour late, and there was still like 9 acts on. I was exhausted. I missed like half the show. And what they do there a lot of the time is they have a lot of the bigger names on at the start, so the show gets gradually worse and worse and worse and worse, and people leave. But because they have Louis C.K. coming, they have Chris Rock turning up. They have, every week they've got big names. You know, Mark Maron is like all the time. Bill Burr's there. They're there like every night because they want to go out and do material. So there's always really good people there. So they know that people are going to come and watch it. So they don't really necessarily watch the quality of the show in the same way that the Comedy Store in London have to do. And I guess there's a lot of tourists there as well, but if the Comedy Store in London was like people leaving during the show, and they just basically want people to have their 2 drinks and leave kind of thing. It's a good club. They run lots of shows, and I would hopefully, I wouldn't mind performing there as well. The Laugh Factory would be quite good. But LA's quite a strange scene. It's very much like who you know kind of thing, and in New York works like that a lot as well. They don't. A lot of promoters won't get back to you on Facebook or email. They only will book you after you go up and you've shook their hand and you've met them and you've been in the room. You know who you are, and then a lot of them are quite good like that. Oh yeah, come down next week, but they kind of like to put a face to the name sort of thing.
Yeah, of course.
They want to see that effort of showing up. And LA was like no one would respond to you.
Right.
And no one would get back. And when I went to LA the first time, I was there for like a week, and I'd done all the time in New York, so I was not even too interested in gigging, you know. Definitely wasn't interested in showing up at loads of gigs and showing my face. I was there for a week, you know. Didn't mean anything. So,
well, Gary, like you're just trying to just polish those things up, just get better, isn't it? That's what you're trying to do.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, actually, I'm not trying to get better. I'm good enough. So.
Oh, okay.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
No, just keep gigging and enjoying it. So yeah.
Okay.
Of course, everyone wants to get better. So.
Well, I hope it goes well for you in 2017, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on the Comedy Defect.
Yeah, thanks a lot. It was fun.
And that was episode 31 with Gary Sansome. Very good friend of mine, very funny comic. Go find him on Twitter, go find him on Facebook, go watch his stuff on YouTube. Actually, just go see him live. He's got a show called Bald Man Sings Rihanna. Go check that out. If you like this podcast, you can follow us on Twitter. We're there at The Comedy Defect. If you want to follow me, it's at Winter Phonander. If you want to come see my live stand-up gig dates, which I have previews for my upcoming show, It's Not Just for Christmas, I'll be previewing that. You can see all of my gig dates there on my website, which is winterphonander.com. And if you like this podcast and you want to donate to us, we're on Patreon. Just go to Patreon, type in The Comedy Defect Podcast, and donate as much or as little as you want. But if you can't kick something back, just leave us a nice review on iTunes or Podbean, because it really helps. I've had a couple of nice comments on iTunes and Podbean, so keep those coming in, because it really helps let people know where we are and what we're doing. If you like the Guinness jokes task that I've set myself, I'm starting that up again. I've got a few jokes coming out this week. I'll be hitting 25 pages of that a week, I think, because that's all I can maybe muster at the moment. So I'll be hitting that. That is on Twitter. The title for that is Encyclopedic Jokes, and the Twitter handle for that is @GuinnessJokes. So come see those, enjoy, share, like, why not? But that's it for now for this Comedy Defect podcast. We've got a very special guest on the show next week, and that is episode 32. He runs 3 podcasts. He promotes 2 gigs. He is also doing 9 fringes this year. I feel the work ethic of this man is completely unparalleled. I really respect him. I really think he's a lovely fella as well. It is, of course, the guy that's probably most famously known for Ask the Industry podcast, Mr. Simon Kane. We have him for episode 32. So that's it for now from the Comedy Defect podcast. We'll see you next week for Ask the Industry podcast, host Simon Kane.